A emerging story about the road building program that is being undertaken for SA Regional Roads. It sounds great in theory, and I guess for many will make the comment that wherever we get the money from, let's just get the roads built. I'd like to counter that by saying that while I think it's enormously great that we are seeing road building happening in regional areas, the South Australian Government is funding just 20% of its current announcement of $106 million of road upgrades in regional areas. That's right, the federal government are contributing 80%. Now, let's just have a look at the announcement that the South Australian Government has made. They're building 400 kilometres worth of road safety upgrades. Now, that could actually be a 200 kilometre amount if you consider that's both sides of the road. Remember, we had that discussion that the state government got their statistics wrong at one point previously on that particular matter. The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Infrastructure is now making this announcement. It's not being made by the South Australian Government, although their press release has gone out. It's been made by the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Infrastructure, Michael McCormack, about these 15 separate projects. The reason for that is that the federal government is funding 80% of it, and so they get their name higher on the press release. They're putting in roads, and I'll tell you the locations where you can expect works to happen. And for those that are in the Hallett area, or Mount Bryan specifically, south of Hallett, there is an upgrade to the road on the southern side of Mount Bryan. So if you're listening to us on 107.5 in that area, you'll be really pleased to hear about that on the Barrier Highway. The northern approach to Hallett is also getting an asphalt rehabilitation, and that's been underway between the two townships since March 2020. So you would have seen the slow points already there. And also there's works that are occurring on South Australia's state roads. These are not Commonwealth roads, these are state roads. The Spencer Highway, the York Highway and Millerton-Maitland Road are getting 79 kilometres of combined shoulder sealing, pavement rehabilitation, and that's pretty important too, because they're also putting in audio tactile line marking so that if you're drifting off on the side of the road a bit, then you'll be able to hear the wheel making that noisy thing from the wheels. That's a good idea, I would suspect. The Upper York Road's getting 14 kilometres, the Copper Coast Highway 8 kilometres. There's also work to be done, 65 kilometres of shoulder sealing on the Air Highway, and also on the Todd Highway, 44 kilometres of shoulder sealing. The Birdseye Highway between Lock and Elliston, 40 kilometres there, and the Stewart Highway, 40 kilometres of rehabilitation and resurfacing north of Port Augusta. There's a bit of work being done, 21 kilometres on the Narkit Highway between Bordertown and Pinaroo, the back road back through the National Park. If you know that one, it does need some urgent work done, and I travelled it just the other day. And 20 kilometres on the Horrocks Highway, 16 lane kilometres of micro-surfacing to fill wheel ruts on the Karoonda Highway out of Murray Bridge there, and the Barrier Highway, as I mentioned, plus the Playford Highway, Culford extensions and shoulder widening. Good news, I think that we all realise that we want roads to be improved, but the South Australian Government has the opportunity here to take a lead. We're seeing that the opportunity for nuclear energy, we've got the massive infrastructure at Whyalla, the ability to make steel. One would ask the South Australian Government if it can be visionary here. It can take the bull by the horns, so to speak, and actually get involved with that nuclear power plant, with the uranium that we have out of this state, with the fact that we've got Whyalla so nearby. We can export so much more. Let's be visionary here in South Australia, and let's, instead of relying on the Commonwealth to fund everything at 80-20, let's see South Australia actually emerge in itself as a vibrant state, the ability to take on big projects like a nuclear reactor and get this state moving with cheaper power, manufacture things again. We simply don't have the ability to be visionary about the future projects for this state.